welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about mindset. And the kind of mindset I guess you could say, what has been developed, and I guess I'll also talk a little bit about how I came to develop it. So, what's the mindset that's been developed? There is, I guess, the mindset that's been developed. One of the key factors I think is probably best expressed through the quote, you don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done. So essentially, throughout this process, I've been able to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So I'm essentially, even if you're tired, that's fine because you're comfortable being tired. So you just, because, usually, I guess you could say a lot of people, maybe they're tired, it's a tough day at work, okay, they just want to rest, watch TV, despite whatever they might have. But kind of, I guess you could say, I think David Goggins, a motivational speaker, calls it callousing your mind. You're able to really say, okay, look, I'm not going to let my mind control me. I'm the guy that's in control here. I'm the one who's driving this thing. And you really just go on to do what you want to do. You don't let your emotions get in the way. You discipline your emotions. And one of the strategies that I used, I like to call it the enemy of your brain. So actually, this is a strategy I used before. I heard about it from other people, but it turns out, I guess, some other people use it. I don't think that other people call it necessarily a strategy, but for instance, this guy, David Goggins, you can search him up. He gave an example, I remember, in an interview that he did, where he went to a gym in London, and he had to, I think it was an elliptical trainer, and the elliptical trainer was quite different from a bunch of other elliptical trainers, just, a lot harder. It was manual. And he says that as when he arrived at the gym, he saw that elliptical trainer, and his mind said, oh no, don't do that. So what do you do when your mind says that? You do precisely that. And he stayed there for like over 2 hours. So how is this applied to my life? So for instance, let's say I used to take kind of like warmer showers. Although I kind of do like cold environments, I never really took cold showers. So one of the things, for instance, that I've been doing, not just to wake myself up more, but is taking cold showers. So you don't like being in the cold, and just for having that weak-minded thought, okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's say. Let me give you another example. Maybe there's a bit more of an extreme example, but let's say you're afraid of sharks, right? You're afraid of sharks, and then because you're having, maybe you see a shark, and you have this weak-minded thought about it. Well, that's precisely the time to get in, to jump in. Probably preferably in clear water because sharks don't eat you. At least they don't mistake you for something else if the water is clear. But anyways, that's just an example. And the good thing about doing that is that you discipline your mind. You let him know that the one who's in charge is you. It's not so much you're punishing him, just letting him know that you're in control. You're not going to let him and his emotions get in the way. So it's not like from night to day, from one day to the other, it's going to completely change. But as you keep on doing that, it calluses your mind, and you really do develop this kind of mindset where it's like, okay, I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done. That's kind of the mindset. Something else that I think really helped me was isolation. I think the powerful thing about isolation is that it gave me a whole lot of clarity in things. And by seeing this clarity, you kind of view things with logic. You overpower your emotions with logic. Okay, it makes sense for me to go to the gym because I'm going to grow from that. So that's the good thing about clarity. And isolation was something that really gave me a whole lot of clarity. So essentially, the two things to take away from this video are: be the enemy of your brain, and isolation gives rise to clarity. And being the enemy of your brain gives rise to callousing your mind and making it stronger. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any, I guess, questions, leave them in the comments below about this, or I guess you can email me. I think I'll leave my email in the comments. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Bye.